Hey everybody, Fran Ramsden here, Ramsden Elite Fitness. Welcome back. Class is back in session. Supplementation 101, part of our ongoing Chalk Talk series on YouTube. Today is going to be an introductory course. I know. Some of you really wanted some advanced stuff. You want me to tell you how many grams of creatine to take? You know, is caffeine good for you? Is it bad for your heart? I know. I get questions. It's probably the most frequent question I get about supplements. But we've got to start with 101. Now, why am I doing this? Everything that I do in terms of our social media, whether it's video, article, our podcast, Health Force, it's about educating the audience. I want my audience to be the smartest audience in the world. I want you guys to be able to not just listen to information that I say and say, oh, that sounds great. I want you to be able to think about things, comprehend, articulate, and then make the case to other people when you're challenged or when you start having discussions about anything related to fitness. I want you guys to be really, really smart about it. Not just take my word, don't blindly follow me, but give you the tools to learn. I think it's very, very important. I want to educate as much as I can. So that's why we're starting with the basics. You've got to understand the basics of supplements. It's a very advanced, very hard and confusing industry. It really is. So what we've done today, there's 4 categories on the board. And I'm going to break down supplementation as a whole into 4 categories, ranking from most important, number 1, to least important, number 4. What this does not mean is that number 4 is not necessary. Doesn't mean that number 3 is not good. It just means that if you're on a budget or if you're just new to supplements, you don't want to just fly right in, start with 1, work your way to 4. But I personally take products in all 4 categories. So everything we talk about today is beneficial. If something does not work, if something is a fad, a scam, it's not going to be on the board. It's not going to be in a category. It'll be category 10 million. It's not on the board. So I want to make that very, very clear. And as a disclaimer, we will be discussing these in terms of if these products have proper dosage and are of high quality ingredients. And we will cover that in a later video. But today, let's just get through the basics. So why is category number 1 by itself and the other 3 are over here? Well, it's because I view category number 1 as head and heels over the other 3. I would go so far as to say that number 1 should be consumed or at least looked into by every single individual. That goes for somebody that's 20 years old. That goes for somebody that's a 55-year-old female that's never worked out before. That goes for a 68-year-old man. It goes for everybody. In that category, yes, I'm standing in front so you can't see. Dramatic. Protein powders. Protein powders. If you get a chance, please check out my podcast, Health Force. It's on our social media page. Episodes 2 and 3, I take the time and I make the argument for a high protein diet. Now, everybody's protein intake will be slightly different, but I think almost every single person, as long as your medical conditions allow, they should have a high protein diet. Close to about your body weight in terms of grams consumed per day. So if you're 150 pounds, about 150 grams of protein per day is about right. It's really hard to get that if the only thing you're consuming and the only thing you're relying on is food. Now, in episodes 2 and 3 of the podcast, I do go through protein powders and talk about how they are created. They are not some, magic powder created in the laboratory. It's not made up from scratch. It's not a bunch of chemicals. It's actually derived from real food, particularly dairy. And they kind of just pull it out from the rest of it, separate it from the fat, from the carbs, everything else, and get it into a powder form and make it accessible to be consumed. To be able to add 1 or 2 scoops a day, that's 50 grams. If you take 2 scoops a day, about 50 grams of protein. So if you're having to consume 150, now you've only got to eat 100 through food. That's a humongous help. I would say probably the majority of the population falls short of their protein intake per day. Especially those that are working out. You really want to make sure that you're consuming a high protein diet. So for that reason, protein powders are almost an absolute they're so necessary. And if you're somebody who doesn't take it yet, please follow us on social media. We put out tons of information on protein powders, and we will be doing even more in the future. please look into buying a nice high-quality protein powder. It'll really help with your fitness goals. Moving on, number two. Number two. Performance-based supplementation. This is in regards to maximizing your workout. Okay, so again, assuming your nutrition is on point, you now are taking a protein powder to get your high protein diet in check. Now we want to start talking about maximizing your performance when you're at the gym or at home or when the trainer comes over or if you go to the gym and work out with the trainer or whoever. We want to maximize your time there. We don't want workouts to be 50%. We don't want you quitting halfway through. We don't want you getting tired halfway through a really rigorous and vigorous routine. We want us to be able to perform as best as we can to maximize the benefit that we will get out of exercise. That's the point of category number two. This will involve something you take before your workout, after your workout, in the middle of your workout. That'll cover that category. And again, we will expand upon all these categories in the future. But for now, I do rank number two as performance-based supplements. Things that help you in your workout, whether it's endurance, energy, strength, power, etc. Number three. Vits and Mins. No, that's vitamins and minerals. If you're having a nice, highly nutritious diet, you're consuming that on a regular basis, it's fair to say you may be getting 80, 90, 100, 110% of your vitamins and minerals through your food. It's possible. But I would argue a lot of people are falling short of their vitamin and mineral intake. Now, if you're somebody that plays a sport or you work out really, really hard and work out often, or you have a physically demanding job, you're going to sweat out a lot of these vitamins and minerals. And again, supplementation is about maximizing. Everything on this board so far is about maximizing. Maximizing your protein intake, maximizing your workout performance, maximizing your body's ability to have available vitamins and minerals. If you take a good, productive multivitamin and all the minerals, ZMA, part of this too, vitamin D3, vitamin C, if you're supplementing with extra, you're ensuring your body is going to use 100% of what it can use. If you get through your diet only 80% of vitamins and minerals, you're falling 20% short of what your body can use. If you're supplementing properly, you ensure that you get, that you're giving enough so your body's going to use 100%. Now, will some things your body excrete because it's in excess? Sure. Is that worth it to pay for something that you may excrete at the end? I would say yes. I do take a multivitamin. I take D3. I take ZMA. There's a whole structure for vitamins and minerals. It's not as easy as taking one vitamin a day. We'll get to that to a later video, but that's my number 3 ranking. Number 4, I'm taking the cheap way out, baby. Auxiliary. Oh, that's the broadest name ever. I know. But I could not think of a better name. I couldn't think of a good name to summarize the 4th category. Now, the 4th category is kind of your hodgepodge of everything that's left over that doesn't fit into 1 through 3. Probiotics. I'm a big fan of probiotics. Number 4. Fish oils. Number 4. Something like CLA. Number 4. Thermogenics, aka fat burners. Number 4. These are things that are going to actually enhance